Their recommendations were a software update that would, I think, lock the battery at no more than 80%, and then they tell you, park it outside, which, our garage door is broken, so we're parking outside anyway.
Perfect.
So, perfect.
That's a janky solution.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Janky AF, where you join us on an absolutely breathtaking May afternoon in upstate New York. We're at an electric vehicle car show, which also featured electric lawnmowers, electric skateboard type things, and even this sweet F-body Camaro, which I'm pretty sure was a gas job. The show was organized and put on entirely locally, in part by my parents, who are a fully electric household and offered up 2 vehicles for display, a 2015 Nissan Leaf and a 2019 Tesla Model 3, both of which have over 50,000 miles on them. More information about the organizers will be provided in the description, and Janky do thanky to all those who organized, volunteered, brought vehicles, and also to the local fire department for serving up some fine burgers during the event. There was quite the festiveness to the atmosphere, with 9 vehicles registered for the event, but at least 13 showing up, demonstrating a good slice of the increasing variety of EVs on the market. The event was well attended, and a general fervor could be felt in the air, with lots of curious faces popping into vehicles to look around and ask questions. It was an excellent format because, unlike pandering television ads or even YouTube car reviews by non-owners, there was a real opportunity to ask pointed questions about the nuances of the ownership experience, particularly in a rural area which experiences intense winters, normally the last place you might find electric vehicles. But as you will see, there are plenty of people living out the EV life in the country, and plenty happy they're doing so. The following are some brief interviews with some owners, and I hope you stick around because I find the anecdotal stories about EV ownership are some of the most insightful and unexpected, and in many cases more valuable than the simple facts and figures. So with that, please enjoy, and Janky do thanky, especially to everyone who let me talk to them on camera. What my focus is kind of like, what I want to ask people about is particularly electric vehicles in rural areas. So if you just don't mind telling me like what vehicle you have, when you got it, if you're happy with it, and if there's any particular challenges to owning an electric vehicle in a rural area.
Sure, yeah. We have a 2021 Hyundai Kona. It's a front-wheel drive electric vehicle.
Front-wheel drive, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a hybrid, it's all electric.
Sure.
And we have a charging station that we installed at our house. Costs about $600 or so, 240 volt. And we basically have no problems living in a rural area and driving an electric car. The thing gets a range of around 300 miles.
Wow, really?
Yeah. In the wintertime, it drops off to more like 240 or so. But still, 90% of your driving is just, 20, 30 miles a day. There's just no problem with having an electric car.
Is it your only vehicle?
We do have a Subaru too.
Okay.
Right, and so we have taken, like when we went to Florida for a vacation, we just took the Subaru instead of this thing.
Yep.
I have to say something about being in a rural area with an electric vehicle. You know how you get on a road and there aren't very many passing zones and you're behind somebody who's really slow, and you just can't seem to find a time to pass that's really safe. The pickup on this is so amazing that you know you're going to make it.
That's an excellent point because there are lots of little windy roads where passing is kind of like hairy if
you go from like 50 to 70. It feels like it's almost instant. It's so fast.
Wow, I didn't know it had 300 miles. That's great.
Yes.
And you found that to be pretty accurate?
Oh, definitely so. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I read that the Hyundai Kona and one of the Tesla models were the only 2 that lived up to their advertised range. And this one, the advertised range is 258, and in summer it's always over 300.
Exceeds it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's what do they call that in the advertising world? You promise low, deliver high, or something like that.
Right.
It makes sense. I love the color. I love the white roof.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking.
It's a nice looking car, I think.
Yeah. Did you have trouble actually getting an allocation? Because I know that's another issue. A lot of dealerships can't even get them in stock in rural areas.
When we got this car, it was just before all the supply chain problems happened. And so We called the Hyundai dealer here in Oneonta.
Oh, so you got it from Royal.
Yeah, Royal,
Cool.
right. And we called them up. They had one in a couple of days that we test drove. They actually sold that one, and then they got us another one in another week or two, and that was it. So it was not very hard at all, really.
It
Great.
was actually Friday. I think we had to wait 4 days.
4 days, is that what it
Yeah.
was? Okay, I couldn't
So it
remember.
wasn't bad at all, but we were lucky with our timing.
Yeah. And last question, do you put snow tires on it in the
Yes.
winter? Okay.
Yeah, I definitely do.
And that,
And with snow tires on it, I was perfectly confident in every situation. In fact, I deliberately drove it up big hills that hadn't been plowed yet just to see how it would be.
Sure.
And it was great.
Yeah, I have a front wheel drive vehicle too, and with snow tires, it's
Yeah.
perfectly capable
Yeah.
in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much. I
Nice to
appreciate
meet
it.
you. Okay.
If I
Virtual
can-
fake.
Thanks, guys. I just want to ask people. I'm asking people generally about ownership of electric vehicles in rural areas specifically.
Okay.
And if
I
there's
can
any,
try. I'm not a real technical person, so
just your rural. I can't say this word. Yes, rear. I want to say rear wheel drive. Rear wheel. Oh my goodness. Real world driving,
Real
world
world
experience, a
experience,
tongue
sure.
twister.
Yep.
So I guess did you have any trouble actually getting an allocation at a dealership locally? Is your range an issue? Winter conditions, snow tires, etc.
Okay.
And obviously, I guess tell us what you have here. You have
Okay, sure. So we have a 2022 Chevy Bolt. We got it last July. Today is whatever day today is.
May
21st, I think.
yes.
Yeah, there we go. We've been really happy with it so far. During summer range, at 80% charge of the battery, we can get up to about 240 miles. In the winter, I've already forgotten. I think at the worst times of winter, we were getting a range of maybe 140 thereabouts. We did not do snow tires. We were probably nuts for not doing snow tires this year, but actually we didn't really have any trouble with it.
Is it a front wheel drive vehicle? I actually don't know either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it handled really well in the winter, and I don't know if part of that might be the weight of the battery.
say low
that
center of
keeps
gravity.
It is a very low car, actually, which is a little weird to get used to after we had a Jeep before. So, but in terms of driving around here, it's been really good. It's been really good. The hills are, you drain it a little bit on the uphills. You're regenerating on the downhill. But it's been fun to drive. And what I find with this car on the roads we have around here is that it's much easier to maintain a steady speed no matter what I'm driving on. So, on the gas car, it's like you're slowing down going up the hill. You get to the top of the hill, and all of a sudden you're zooming down the other side. Whereas with this, it's like, okay, I'm doing a steady 50 or 55. Whatever.
Yeah, kind
it
of
is.
both are better because you have more pull with the torque up the hill, and then coming down you have the regen, so that kind of helps too.
Yeah, I'll get people now who are, I tend to drive fast, but I'll get people behind me sometimes who are trying to drive faster, and I lose them on the uphills. So that's always kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I think the only issue we've had or potentially have is that our dealer does not currently have a certified technician.
I have heard that.
Yeah, so if we don't, as long as, if it's a tire rotation, that's fine. But any other stuff, we've been bugging them about it and saying, when you get in your tech, soon.
Yeah.
So that's our only real beef right now.
Yeah, and I know the Bolts had like a potential battery issue thing
Yeah.
that hasn't been. Have you been contacted by Chevy or anything?
We're basically on the list to get a new battery put in. As a 2022, we're lower on the priority list than some of the older models, so we're just kind of waiting our turn. Their recommendations were a software update that would, I think, lock the battery at no more than 80%, and then they tell you, park it outside, which, our garage door is broken, so we're parking outside anyway.
Perfect.
So, perfect.
That's a janky solution.
Yeah.
And then you do have a charger at home.
We're running off of a wall outlet, basically.
Nice.
So we just plug it in, and it's been fine.
And how quickly does that charge, and any noticeable change in your electric bill?
Haven't noticed a real change in the electric bill. The charge, it puts about 4 miles on per hour
Okay.
of range. So, it's not fast, but that's okay. We're not bringing it home as a rule with, nothing in the battery.
Sure,
I
you
was gonna
charge
say
it
nothing
on
in
it.
the tank,
Well,
but-
that's the funny thing is people are like, well, what about, if I live when I don't have like a charger at home? But it's like, well, no one has a gas station at their house
That's
either.
true.
So
That's true. I mean, I've certainly had my experiences with a gas car where I've been on fumes and trying to figure out where the nearest gas station is and hoping I can get there.
Sure.
And I think there was only really one time with this car where I did not. It wasn't even a matter of plan. I didn't charge it overnight or something. It had gotten really low, and I was like, oh, I've got to go out to New Berlin today and back, and how am I going to do that? And I did. I brought my cord with me, and we plugged in where we were, and it was fine.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Great. Do you own a second vehicle?
We do not.
So this is fully electric.
This is a fully electric house, fully electric vehicle, one vehicle house, which is a pain in the neck.
But you're managing.
But that's more from the, I need the car today. Oh, you need the car today. All right, you're going to have to drive me here. I mean, any one-car family is going to.
Sure. So it's more
deal
that
with
than the
so-
actual electric
right,
issue.
Right. Yeah. The electric has not been an issue.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right. Enjoy your day.
All right. You too. Thanks. I'm doing a little video series about ownership of electric cars, particularly in rural areas.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you could tell me what you have here and how
We
you've.
have here a 2017 Fiat 500e. It was purchased from Rialto, California. It came off a lease. This is a compliance car, which is to say it was only offered for sale in California and Oregon because there was a law that made them have an electric version of every car they sell.
Sure.
So they stuck a Bosch motor in it, and here you go.
It's got a Bosch motor in
It
it?
does. It's awesome. It's fast. The torque on these things is fun. It's quiet. It's front-wheel drive, so you can climb around in snow. If you have, I'm gonna get better tires. These are still California tires.
Yeah, have you put, how long have you had it in this area?
Since July. So I
Okay.
went through the winter with it, and it doesn't like cold. None of them do.
Yep.
But I'd say it only cuts about 20% off.
Okay.
maybe.
And this
It's
is
really cold.
about 100-mile range?
90.
Yeah.
Now that's why it doesn't cost so much. The new ones of these I think are like 40,000. I got it for 8,500, but now
Wow.
they're more because everything's more.
Yep.
But you could still get these in the same site from California for like 13,000, 14,000.
Huh.
I would endorse this product.
Yeah, for a little. Is this your only car?
No, I have an old Lexus in the garage for distance.
Lexus what?
It's an IS 250 with
IS 250H, the hybrid, the little hatchback?
no man.
Okay.
This is 2010. It still had the Smiley grill before they went to the Predator grill.
Sure.
And it had that candy apple red, which I always liked.
Nice.
It's a little beat up, but again, I got that cheap last year, 2 years ago.
Yep.
But these are, I think, a good value.
Yeah,
It'd
as
be
a,
interesting to see. They should be selling it in this market. I don't know.
I don't know where that. Well, I guess the Chrysler Fiat's under Chrysler. It's all Stellantis now, so you'd think that they would sell a Fiat out of. But yeah, as a second car, it's got to be great, right? 90
Yes,
miles.
It's my daily go to the store car, and it probably saves me $40 or $50 in gas because you have to use premium in the Lexus, and that adds up.
Yep. Especially nowadays.
So
And you had it shipped here?
I did. And it was a really good company. I mean, absolutely no problems at all. They knew what they were doing. It was a serious auto transport company.
Yep. And so you'll drive it in the winter. You'll put snow tires on it. It's front wheel drive.
It is. And so my driveway is kind of on a hill, and you have to learn how to get out of it. And if you don't have the right tires, you ain't getting out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be fine. It climbs right up.
Sure.
Again, it has a sort of different torque and feeling when you take off. It's more like an amusement park.
Sure.
So going 30 is fun.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
I
well-
appreciate it. I'm asking people about electric vehicles, but specifically about owning electric vehicles in a rural area.
Okay.
So how hard has it been to actually buy the vehicle, to service the vehicle, charging issues, winter issues, range issues in cold climates?
Buying the Tesla was not a problem. Okay, just go to, we bought it in Mount Kisco.
Yeah.
So it was no problem. We have a charger at home, so the charger is not a problem. But winter we are very, as such we are not very mobile. winter we don't do that, because I remember once I had a very bad experience. I went to Utica to see a physician, and my car was something like 230 mile charge was remaining. So when I came back, it was 70 miles left. So it used up a lot of energy on it. This is in the middle of January, you have to understand.
Sure.
So it was a little difficult at the time. But I don't travel much in the winter, so we are very careful about that. But it is a pleasure to have that, except for one thing, is it doesn't have Sirius radio.
Oh, is that a Tesla only thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least my model doesn't have a Sirius radio, so I have started, to like something else now. So that is one of the things I was used to for the last 30 years.
So you would consider a different vehicle other than Tesla just to get Sirius radio?
No, because Sirius is, you should understand, is an older technology. It's going to die out even otherwise. It's going to die out, So the newer technology is the only thing is you have to get used to. It's like wearing an iWatch.
Sure.
You have to get used to that,
Sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would love having this car, but only negative. It's about basically the entertainment system. We have to get used to the new ones, and you can't listen to any music you want, but there is no other person talking.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to have, this is the Cooperstown, and time now is 12:15. And the weather, I would like to have that.
Sure. Well, I guess it does have voice command, right? You can
Yeah.
probably ask it and does it talk back to you?
It's all displayed on the screen. Yeah, definitely, it can show everything, But, the only repair we have done is, me and my wife, we had a problem purchasing whether a $4 windshield wiper fluid or $5 one. That was a difficult decision I had to make.
What, to buy the more expensive windshield washer fluid?
Yeah, we ended up buying because that's what the store clerk recommended.
Okay.
And we put it there, and that was at 3,000 miles we did. That's the only thing we did.
Oh, so you had to replace the...
No. We just put the fluid.
Oh, okay.
Fluid. That's
right.
all.
Yeah. Oh, that's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in winter we felt that there was no fluid coming, so we just put it and we were
Yeah, it
fine.
started working. That is the only maintenance we did.
Wow.
$4.
Add windshield washer
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah.
That's and 90, almost 10,000 miles.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
And now, of course, we do it regularly. We don't even wait for that.
Sure.
Since we have the that little container, so we replace it whenever we feel like.
And this is a dual motor, correct? So
Yes,
it's all-wheel
dual.
drive.
Yeah.
Do you put snow tires on in the winter?
No.
Really? Just drive it as
No,
is?
because I don't drive much.
Right.
That's the reason.
Yep.
That's the reason. Yeah, but I never had that, rolling backwards or rolling forward without my consent. I didn't have any problem with that. In the snow, there was no problem.
Yep.
It was not that I stayed home when it was snowing. No.
Yeah. Sure. Have you gone on any trips with it?
Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. Last summer we did, and absolutely we enjoyed it.
That's pretty far.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the superchargers
yeah.
everywhere you went?
Yeah, but the only thing is when you stop to charge, you end up eating quite more.
Eating quite more?
Because gas stations, they don't have much places to eat.
Yeah.
McDonald's, but this is right in the middle of urban, jungle. So you have Panera, you have all the other places.
I haven't heard that before. It's a side effect of an electric vehicle, eating more when you stop to charge.
Everywhere is a big thing, So you get that and a lot of nice. Here in Oneonta, you have a Dunkin' Donuts and something else, and McDonald's, all the other stuff.
Yeah, have you used a supercharger in Oneonta?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I know there's one there now.
Yeah, there are many chargers there, but we have used everywhere. Even once we stopped in Albany, many times we stop in Albany, but guess what? You end up going to that Amazon store for eating.
What is the range on it?
It's 330 miles.
And is that
But
accurate?
We consider it only 250 as its range. That's how we treat things,
Sure.
250 is our range.
Yeah, and in the winter a little less maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the winter the problems are entirely different because people are not walking around or moving around. Nobody travels much, so we also follow the same rule.
Sure.
Yeah, and there's nothing urgent. If you have to go, you use the other car.
Sure. Yeah, that was my next question. Do you have another gas-powered vehicle?
Backup. We have a Subaru.
Okay. You're the second person to say that. the other trademark of living in a rural area.
Because it's not that because that was purchased new. The Subaru was purchased new, so we wanted to keep that. So that's the reason we are keeping. If it was the older one, we would have sold it and bought a Model 3.
Yeah, well, maybe in a couple of years.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And there you have it. Well, Janky do Thanky. I hope somebody gained something from this. I thought it was just a really great event and really well organized. And I thought it was a unique opportunity for people to come check out these cars, which still are a curiosity to some people, especially sort of out here in the country. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll have a couple of reviews of some of these vehicles, hopefully here sometime during the summer. And until then, Janky do Thanky.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.